I am here with Rick Williams with Raw Happiness. He is a relationship coach and friend of mine and altogether amazing expert on connection and intimacy. So Rick, I want to talk about, as we've been talking about maintaining personal voice within relationship, we talked about really making sure that we are creating trust. And we talked about ways to do that. What else can we do? Or what else comes up for maintaining your personal voice?
There is a discipline to being yourself relentlessly. Like relentlessly being yourself is cultivated discipline that we have to learn. It's essential for us to learn in order to do that. And one of the best ways is through communication. Learning how to communicate to our partner in a way that they understand.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that they understand and we can also feel heard.
So I want to look at that for a second. In a way that they understand. I think that's really key. You know, in my practice and in working with people, what I'm finding is that oftentimes I'm hearing this voice from people going, I tell them all the time, you know, and this idea that's like, I've communicated this a million times and it's just not being, they don't listen.
Right.
And I don't know that that's necessarily like real. I think what's real is that the words that I'm saying to you look like, for me, they feel like they're English and you're hearing Japanese, you know?
Exactly.
So,
You know, when I hear people say that, you know, they're usually saying the same thing over and over again in the same way. Like I'm telling you all the time. I'm telling you all the time. You
yeah.
know, we have to stretch outside of our comfort zone of communication sometimes and approach it at a different way.
So how do we do that?
I start with the five senses, actually. So it's like if a person's visual and you're constantly saying, you aren't hearing me, you aren't hearing me, you know, you're automatically speaking two different languages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can paint a picture for that person of, you know, what would it look like if I kissed you, rather than what would it, how would you feel if I told you I loved you? Those are like two different chemical responses in a person determine if they are visual or audio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So starting, some people need to be touched
Mm-hmm.
as you talk and through the approach.
See, and I love that. I think, you know, my reaction in hearing that, if somebody were to look at me and say, what is the difference from me saying I love you right now or me saying I want to kiss you right now? And for me, it's a huge, like, visceral difference in my body. Where I'm like, you want to kiss me right now? Yeah, let's go. And it's like, you want to tell me you love me? I'm like, cool, everyone tells me they love me. Like, I am surrounded by people who love me. I create my world that way. You want to kiss me? I don't let everybody kiss me. Get in, you know?
Awesome. Awesome.
I love
Awesome.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And then when it comes to sensitive talks, um, what really helps is what's called a pre-frame.
okay.
So approaching your partner with a knowing of how you feel, what is vulnerable for you before you approach your partner. So in the approach to your partner, it can be like, I have something very sensitive to tell you that I am ashamed, or I feel like you're going to judge, and I want to. It is very, very important for me to feel heard, and it's very important for me to be able to trust you and voice my what's driving me crazy right now. With and,
Yeah.
that approach, it induces like, okay, you're telling the person that, okay, I need to be on my game right now. I need to be, I need to give my full attention right now. I need to be loving right now.
Well, I think it also gives them the opportunity to not be set up for failure. You know,
Exactly.
if
Exactly.
you are telling me this and I've already had a really bad day, that gives me opportunity to be like, okay, I have a choice here. I can tell you I've had a bad day. Are you sure you want to approach me right now? Or I can turn
Right.
it and switch it and be like, oh, cool. Okay, I can show up here. This is an opportunity for me to love you. Let's do that.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but I
That.
imagine that if you already have a culture with your partner that you have this voice in your head going, they never listen, and you already think that they're going to judge me, and I'm really vulnerable, and I'm scared to say this, and you just go ahead and you blurt it without putting that parameter there, then it's probably going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're probably going to reject you and, react in a way that's not going to nourish you. I love that. Such a good idea.
Yeah.
What have you found happens for you when you use that, when you put in parameters?
Um, I I tend to experience the world like on multiple levels at once. So I know that when I get my vibration right. So when you were just saying about um, speaking out of nervousness and the assumption that this person is not going to listen, I can feel myself creating that in my voice, in the way that I feel, in
Mm-hmm.
my energy out to that person
Yeah.
to those kind of responses. So um, the most important thing for me is to be okay with where I am. Even if I am messy, like, okay, I'm acknowledging that I'm messy. I'm acknowledging that I really need to be heard right now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that um, I am afraid to tell this person. I'm afraid of rejection.
Yeah.
That kind of lowers my anxiety to a place where I can deliver from more of a heartfelt place and be more connected to what it is I need and
Mm-hmm.
not set my partner up for
For failure.
failure.
What comes up for me is this idea that we almost really have to say this out loud. You know, I've given the challenge to clients before that vocalize what you're saying, what you're thinking, or what you're really needing to work through, and heard feedback going, no, I can't do that. Vocalization, no, that's scary, and it is scary, but there's something about the release that we have in our bodies when we say something out loud and we hear ourselves say it, and our brain says, oh, I'm taking care of it. Cool. It's not inside anymore. I've released that, and I can move forward. So I love you bringing that in. That is really, I think, key. It's necessary for being able to see how to frame, because I can walk up to to have a conversation with my partner and think in my head, I'm vulnerable right now. I need some love right now, and I'm going to trust that he's going to meet me there, and
Right,
then have that conversation, and still not have that release vocally, and not have my needs fulfilled because I haven't said them vocally. So thank you.